Okay, guys, I'm just checking out. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Let's do a quick microphone check. Let me know if you guys can hear me and see me clearly. All right, once again, guys, we're doing a microphone check, camera check. Let me know if you guys can see me and hear me good. All right, guys, very good. All right, so you guys can hear me and see me. All right, so with that in mind, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, welcome to our study group if this is the first time you're attending. And today, like every other study group we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over 10 practice questions I have for you guys in a few minutes. And I also answer everyone's questions, or at least most of your questions as I get to them. So let's go ahead and get started with some practice questions that you guys may have. All right. Let's see what you guys got. All right. So good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Good day, wherever you are. All right. We got some questions here. Somebody says to me here, can you please guide me on mock tests? Which one is good? You know, there's a lot of good mock tests. I think, I have my own mock test coming soon. It's almost done. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on my new mock exam to come out. But that's going to be coming out real soon. It's the questions are done. The engine is done. It's just getting the final touches. And then it's going to have some unique things about it that no other mock exam has. And I think it's going to be really good stuff. So that'll be coming soon. If not, just if you have my Udemy class, if you have my study guide, those exams are just fine. All right, I got Pickley86 says, "Hey Andrew, I passed with 3 above targets last week. Thanks for these lives and answering all my questions and being so encouraging. I got some cake to celebrate. Well, congratulations there, Pickley86. Always so good to hear that you guys passed. You guys would be surprised to know how many people passed the exam in the last week that I've seen on my Udemy class, on my LinkedIn. By the way, if you're not on my LinkedIn, don't forget to join me on LinkedIn. I get so many people that pass. So encouraging to hear this, that my material is helping you guys. So congratulations there, Pickley. Make sure to celebrate with some carrot cake. I did have a good picture of someone that had an interesting carrot cake they sent me. Get some good beer if you like beer or whatever it is that you drink. Good weight off your shoulder, right? Thanks for coming back and letting us know. When you guys come in here and you post that you pass, it's so encouraging to the other people that has not passed yet, that is coming up to take the exam. And thank you for coming back and telling us that you did well. And above target, that's a great score. It's a perfect score there, right? On all the domains. It means you know exactly what to do on the test. All right. Let's see what else more you guys got. All right. Leah, Lia, says, "Hey, I passed above target all 3 domains. Thanks for the confidence. Wine, not beer." Leah, congratulations. Don't forget the cake, Leah. Cake and wine is a good combination, but I don't like wine. Sour grape juice is not my thing. But you know what? Enjoy whatever it is that you have. Thank you once again for coming back and letting us know that you passed. Such a good feeling to know that you have that weight off your shoulder. It's good stuff. Deshawn says, "Hello Andrew, I purchased Udemy class. It says 2 practice exam. I'm not able to find. There's only the Udemy has practice exams throughout. At the end of every section, you're gonna have questions at the end of every section. So there's more than 1 practice exam. It's 1 mock exam on the main Udemy course, but there's practice questions at the end of like integration, scope, and time. There's practice questions throughout the entire thing. At the practice questions on Agile and stuff. So you have tons of practice questions there. Gary says, I have 3 weeks until my exam. Been through materials a few times. What should I memorize for the new format? Don't memorize anything. You know what you should do, Gary, is to review the mindset, do as much practice exams, not just minds, but look for all the practice exams that you have or that you can find. So you have a lot of time. 3 weeks is a lot of time to study. Go through the mindset. Review your Agile concept seems to be the thing. Don't memorize ITTOs or formulas, but know what the formulas mean. Like you have to know what SPI is, what CPI and stuff like that is. So you got a lot of time there, Gary. I'm pretty sure you're going to ace the exam because you got a lot of time. Taking the exam on the 7th, you got 1 week to study. Yogindra, I think you're going to be just fine. Just make sure to review the mindset. Citrix 23, you've been with me for a couple of weeks there, Citrix 23. Congratulations. You were worried last week. I remember you were worried about taking your exam. Congratulations on all those above targets. It seems like all my students gets mostly above all targets. So I think my material is pretty good stuff. Pass above all. I'm going to get drunk on beer and eat all the cake in the world. That sounds amazing. I wish I could join you on that journey right there. Just get drunk on beer and eat cake. The two best things in life, guys, cake and beer. I'm with you. Congratulations, Citrix. And thank you for coming back and letting us know. And for those of you that are taking the exam, you see how many people are passing. You guys study. You can pass also. Amy logs in logged in to report that I passed on Saturday above all areas once again. The weekly questions and answers has been a huge help. Thank you, Andrew. You're still eating all the cake. Make sure to keep eating that cake, all right? Cake is good for you. Best of luck to everyone else there. Thank you, Amy. Congratulations. Make sure to celebrate well. It looks like you are. You have been celebrating well. What's good is that you guys are passing right before the summertime, and nothing better to enjoy your summer than knowing that this giant weight is off your shoulder. So for those of you guys that pass, hey, congratulations. Hey, and I'm super happy I was able to help you guys pass. Nivaris says, I have my exam tomorrow. Well, you know what? Make sure you review the mindset. And if you have your exam tomorrow, make sure to get a good night's sleep. I think that's going to be important. Ron, how many mock exams do you recommend taking before the exam? It's a good question, Ron. I recommend doing at least 2 or 3 exams. 4 is good. 5 is a little bit too much. But I think what you guys should be doing is sitting down and simulating the entire mock exam situation. Like, do 60 questions, then take a little break, then come back and do another 60 questions, take a little break, come back and do the last 60 questions. Just like you would on the actual test itself. So you guys should be doing that, simulations of the mock exam. That way you feel what it feels like, Ron, and for the rest of you guys, what it feels like to sit there for 4 hours and take a test, or what it feels like to do 180 questions. That way when you go to actually do the test, you'll know what it feels like. Because trust me when I say this, 180 questions, when you're answering that, and for those of you that have taken the exam, I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me. When you're taking an exam this long, it just feels like it never ends. It's going and going and going, and you get a little bit winded, you get a little bit fatigued, so you're going to want to make sure you take those breaks. So that's where you want to practice it, so you can build up, I guess, the exam stamina. Is that a thing, exam stamina? It's a new thing, right? You build up the stamina needed to sustain that 4 hours, and don't lose your grip there. Chesney said, the end of Udemy, I don't see an actual exam. There's a mock exam. Check again. All right, there is a mock exam at the end of my Udemy class. Make sure to review it. It's 180 questions. GG for PMP. I passed my exam at above targets on all domains. These sessions, your Udemy guide and the mindset was the key to my certification. Thank you. Well, thank you, GG, for using my class. Once again, make sure you get the cake, GG, the beer, of course. Make sure you celebrate well. And, you know, it's good to have that giant weight off your shoulders. Well, congratulations to you. And don't forget to make sure to eat a lot of cake. Oh, thank you for coming back. You know, thank you for coming back and letting us know. I do remember your name asking me questions a few weeks ago. I think of last week also. So very good. You see, those of you guys that are here in the sessions, you guys ask me questions. I answer them for you, and then you all go on and pass. We have like a perfect record going on here. Ella asked me, what score should you target on a mock test? You know, most mock exams, I recommend for you guys to get about an 80%, 70 to 80% on mock exams throughout different vendors, whether it's my exams, whether it's somebody else's. Try to get at least 70 to 80%, 80% being a good number. Ram says, I have scheduled for the exam next week. A bit nervous. That's normal. If you have your exam coming up in a few days, you should feel nervous. It's normal. Don't think you're abnormal. So that nervousness and that fear is what's going to really drive you to study some more. So make sure to review the mindset section. That seems to be what everybody's using to pass. Review your Agile notes. Review your Agile sections, whether it's my course or any other course you're taking. Make sure you know that stuff well, and I think you're going to be just fine. All right. Miguel says, my first time here. Welcome, Miguel, to our study group, and welcome to the rest of you that are just joining us. Cam, I remember you, Cam. You asked me quite a lot of questions. Very good. But Cam did pass your exam on Friday. I remember you were a little concerned about that last week. Cam says, hey, Andrew, I passed last Friday, got my cake and beer. Very good. Very good. Couldn't have done it without you. Well, thank you, Cam, for coming back and letting us know. Make sure to celebrate well. Seems like you did. Make sure, and don't forget, if you guys pass, make sure you guys celebrate for a long time. At least a week worth of celebration, I think, is in order. Citrix 22, your videos are the best. What should I study for next? You know, if you're on that train, here's an interesting option. If you're on that train and you got your materials down, you know your stuff well, hey, maybe you could take your PMI ACP exam. Something to think about. Don't forget the videos. If you bought my Udemy course, the PMI ACP, that Agile section in the PMP class on my Udemy course is the actual ACP course itself in its entirety. So if you already studied it, maybe you should take that and just get it out of the way. If you're looking for something else to do, to those who pass, oh boy. All right. Do I have another discount code? No, I used to have a discount code to Prepcast, but I don't have another one anymore. No, they didn't give me another one. I think they have their own discount code for like 10% off. All right, Mike says, I'll be your guinea pig on your March exam. I'm not sure what that is. Start your 35-hour course today. Well, congratulations. I think you're going to be okay. Just make sure you study well. Rizvi, R-I-Z-V-I, says, by the way, if I butcher your name, I'm sorry, okay? I can't read names. I'm like disabled in reading people's names. I'm the worst at this. So if I mess up anybody's name, apology. All right. Somebody says here, few thoughts on the PMI Study Hall. Unfortunately, I have never seen the PMI Study Hall. I don't have a login to it. I guess I could buy it for $15, but I have personally never seen the PMI Study Hall. So I have no comments on it. I don't know how good it is or how bad it is. But I will tell you that when my exam simulator come up, I think it's going to be better. Because it's my stuff. I think my stuff is going to be better. All All right. What else more do we have here? Hey, Andrew, I have an issue with the subscription to PMI. I have an error message like, you have an error message that this card is declined. Omar, that's a question Omar is asking me. I have no idea. Contact PMI support and give that to them. That seems like something with your credit card. You might want to check it out with them. Deshawn says, hey, Andrew, maybe my question was not clear, but I'm asking about the tool, which your course description says. Check in the actual exam itself. If you add up the questions, it should total to much more than 360 questions. All right, check that out. Cam says she makes sure to know the mindset. Cam said she used the PMI Study Hall. So, Cam, if you're still here, maybe you can give us a comment on what do you think of the PMI Study Hall. Some people are asking. I have personally never seen it. KW says, happy you're finally here for the live event. Well, make sure to ask me questions. It's what you came for. I watched you in the past. Ordered your book. Well, thank you. And the Udemy. Thanks. This is a good one. Chaman says, I want to celebrate my journey, but don't know how to start my journey. You could start the journey, if you want to use my materials, you could buy my study guide on Amazon. That'll come with the actual course itself. Or if you don't want to purchase the Amazon study guide, maybe you want to just do video course, take a look at my Udemy class. That's where most people start. It's not an easy journey, but it's definitely doable. Taking the exam on Friday. Gunter says, still worried about the process part. Took my course in February. Must have forgotten a lot. I'm not sure if you have my Udemy course. We just reviewed your Agile section. Don't worry too much about memorizing those 49 processes and all that. Just make sure you understand them. Don't worry too much about memorizing a whole lot of things. Just make sure you understand it well. Chaman says, please suggest how I can crack the exam. Reviewing the study material. There's no other way. There's no easy path out of this test, right? You have to put in the study time. Go through the course. Go through the study guide. You'll be fine. Make sure you understand the mindset. Just don't memorize as you read, but make sure you understand as you read. All right. Circling back. So Pickly 86 says, circling back from last week, when taking the exam from home, you do see a small box with a camera view. Yeah, this was something that we were talking about last week. Somebody had asked me that last week, was about when you're taking the exam, it seems like you have to be very, very careful about being in the camera view. So then this is taking the exam from home. So if you're taking the exam from home and you leave the camera view, I have heard that people are being disqualified. So like right now, I am in the camera view and you guys can see me. I could see this camera I'm using has a little viewfinder, a little screen that I could see myself in. But look, I'm going to leave the camera. And now you see I'm gone from the camera. So, well, now I'm back. But it seems like if you leave the camera view, like I just did, you might just be disqualified and they'll end your exam and you may lose your exam fee. So that's something to keep in mind. So one of the questions last week was, can you see what they're seeing? And Prickly says, when taking the exam from home, you do see a small box with the camera view. So that's good. So when you guys are taking the actual exam, I do want to make sure and point out that make sure not to leave the camera view. Because depending on the camera you're using, the point of view of that camera may be wide, where it could see a lot, or maybe it's very narrow and it doesn't see much. So you can't move around too much. So something to think about. All right, so Prickly saying you do see that camera view. Don't forget, do not leave the camera view. If not, it could be considered some form of cheating, and then they disqualify you. So William says, "Hey Andrew, I passed my exam 3 days ago. Congratulations, was above target on all domains. Once again, make sure to celebrate well, William. Make sure you get a cake. I'm not sure if you did that yet. The beer also. Such good, amazing to know that you should feel amazing to know that that exam is off your shoulder, and that's always such a great thing. His advice here, lesson learned, is to treat your exam as a project and align all that's necessary. Yes, your exam is basically a project. You just basically have a start and an end date. You do have a lot of work in the middle. Congratulations, William. Thank you for coming back and letting us know that you passed, right? What else more do we have here? So we got Gary. Question. On the PMI training for the new exam, questions that are the best answer, on track, needs improvement. These questions going to be like 2 answers could be right, but at best. Yeah. So Gary, on this exam, expect a lot of questions where you're going to get questions where the choices are very similar. In other words, they're going to sound, one of the 2 or 3 choices will sound correct, but obviously there's only one of those correct options. So you want to make sure that you read them well. The best thing I can tell you about answering those questions is knowing the mindset. Knowing the mindset, I think, is the way to answering those correctly. Also, make sure that you understand servant leadership concept. I did a video a couple of months ago, back 2 months ago or so, where I talked about how to answer situational questions, and it's all about being a servant leader. Ask yourself, you get 2 answers that seems correct, and you're like, okay, which one is the servant leader answer? That's probably going to be the right one. Brent, here's a good question. Andrew, what time of day do you recommend taking the exam? Excellent question. Now this is a personal choice. Maybe you've watched me or heard me before. Yeah, I've said this. I have over 60 certifications, and I've taken over 100 exams. I do best on exams when it's early in the morning. I recommend taking your exam as early as possible, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I will not take an exam after like 12 o'clock. I like to start early and finish early as I still have energy. As the day is progressing, I get pretty tired. Like right now, I'm pretty tired. There's a reason why I stand up and do these things. If not, I'm probably going to fall asleep because I wake up pretty early. So I think the best thing is as early as possible. Whatever time you wake up. Maybe an hour later. Get yourself ready and just take it and knock it out. Because it is a marathon, right? It is a 4-hour marathon. And it's a critical thinking marathon. And if you're going to do it in the afternoon when you're tired, and the evenings when you're really tired, like if I take the PMP right now at 7:30 in the night for me, I'll probably fail because my mind is not really thinking, even though I wrote the book on the thing. So, but give it to me in the morning, I'm pretty sure it's going to be easy. So take it early is my recommendation. William says, actually William is going to give us some feedback here. William says, questions are a bunch of Agile, no calculations. You have to understand the interpretation of SPI and CPI. I'm going to be going over that tonight. I got a few questions on that. I took about 5 exams just to learn how to pace myself, and it paid off. Yes, William said he did 5 practice exams. I think that's quite a lot, but you know what? The more you did, the better it gave you that ability to understand how long it's taking you to finish. T1000 says, just started studying and failed Udemy, but that is okay. How do you fail Udemy? You don't fail Udemy. Keep studying there, okay? You know why if you take some practice exams, or even if you take the real exams and you don't pass, don't feel bad, all right? There are going to be students that fail this exam. Don't worry about failure. Failure is a symptom of success, I have failed many exams. I have failed many business ventures. But I guess I can call myself successful now. But I failed at many things. You can't succeed if you don't fail. It's just part of the game. Why do we fall? Well, we learn to pick ourselves up. I think it was in a Batman movie that was said. But anyhow. Cam says celebrate all weekend. You're tired now. I hear you. You can't party too long. But you know what? There's next weekend to party, okay? L says, if you're doing 70 to 80% on the mock exams, mock tests, do you recommend going back to the answers on the actual test or going back to the video? If you're doing 70 to 80%, just keep on going. Review the questions you got wrong, understand why you get them wrong, and just keep on going. All right, that's all. I don't think you need to go back to learning the concepts anymore. Just a day before the exam, review your mindset. Make sure you understand your Agile concepts, and I think you're going to be fine. What else more we have here? Man, you guys got a lot of questions. A lot of comments, too. Very good. Yogendra says, hey, Andrew, what exactly to focus on? As I'm examining the 7th, I've heard from tests. I would say if you're really focusing, you want to really lock down what's on the test, the majority of the questions are from Agile. Make sure to review the Agile sections. Make sure you know all the Agile concepts, all the Agile activities and meetings and artifacts and games that they use to do Agile. Make sure you know that well. And of course, the mindset. Do you recommend taking a mock exam before starting your studies? No, I wouldn't do that because Pierre, this is a good question, right? Do you recommend taking a mock exam before starting studying to identify weakness? I think coming into studying for a PMP, unless you have had exposure to PMBOK, unless you have had exposure to things like Agile, you're probably not going to know any of it. PMBOK is a very unique thing. No real project manager doing real project management work follows 49 processes in that order or name them like that. So you're going to find a lot of new things. So I don't think that you should do that. Just go right into it, study it, know it well. Okay, William has got a concept of the fist of 5. Okay, I will review that. This model training evaluation. All right. Let's see what else more you guys have. Miguel, I got all the quiz for Udemy, all the course, average 80%. Do you think I'm ready? Yeah, I think you should be fine. 80%, it's a good score. Will taking the PMI ACP mock exam help with the PMP? Yes, because it basically, a lot of the PMI ACP content is now in the PMP, so I'm pretty sure the questions are going to be very similar. What is the date for the exam? For my exam simulator, hopefully it's middle of this month. I mean, it's done. It just needs to be, I guess, go live. But they're having some issues on some of the problems they were having. Hopefully by the mid of this month. This is a good question. Joyce says, I need to focus more on the business environment domain. How do you prepare for this domain? This particular domain is not really mentioned too much in the PMBOK itself. This particular domain is more about understanding regulations and understanding how your business works in your industry. The questions from it, I don't think are going to be too difficult. Always remember, if it's a regulation, you got to follow it. That's a mindset, right? If it's a regulation, you got to follow it. There's no way to push it off. Top says, hey Andrew, I passed my PMP exam. Thank you for your channel is truly gold. Oh, well, thank you. By the way, did you guys subscribe to the channel? All right, if you're joining us tonight, make sure to give me a subscription. I'm almost at 7,000. All right, 7,000 subscribers. I think that's pretty good. Well, top, congratulations. Don't forget to get the cake and the beer. All right, don't forget that. Make sure to celebrate well. Maybe you've done that already. Such a good feeling to know you got that weight off your shoulder. And thank you for coming back and letting us know that you passed. Celebrate well, okay? By the way, when you guys come back, always let me know you passed, okay? It makes me feel so good to know that you guys are passing. Like, I've helped before I started doing these YouTube sessions, and I just used to hear a lot of people passing. There's no interaction with my students. But now by doing these sessions, it's amazing to see how much of you guys are passing, and it makes me feel so good to know that you guys are passing. So always come back and let me know. People have sent me some really good LinkedIn posts about it too. So by the way, join me on LinkedIn if you're not. GG for PMP says Andrew's mindset and the exam content outline, the ECO, is important to review the day before. I recommend that. Mohit says, really like my videos. I've not started the Agile section yet, so I can't. Yeah, if you haven't started the Agile section, don't worry about practice exams yet. A lot of practice exams should have quite a lot of Agile questions in it. After celebrating what's next, PMI ACP, I think, is what's next. I did a video, but they haven't put it up yet. Well, actually, I think they made it. I haven't reviewed it yet. On what certifications to get after the PMP. I'll try to make sure that gets done soon. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll know when a new video comes out. I did a video about that. What to do after PMP. Adriana says, does the sponsor always approve project management plan? Sometimes. If not, where can we find? Well, who approves a project management plan is not something the PMBOK specifically says. It just says like stakeholders approve it. Who approves a project management plan really depends on the project. If the project is a giant project that requires millions of dollars and it's going to take 5 years to make and it's going to require the entire organization, it may be approved by the business owner, the board of directors, the CEO. If it's something small, it may be approved by just by a general manager in a department, a departmental manager. So there's no real answer to that. It depends on the business. It says 2 practice exams. It says 2 practice tests. Deshawn, there's a lot of practice tests. It's more than 2. It's just that Udemy only allows you to put 2. Udemy caps the courses with only 2, but you can have as many quizzes as you like. So there's 1 practice test, that's the 180 question quiz, 180 question mock exam, and then there's a whole bunch of practice tests throughout the class. So it's more than 2. It's just that Udemy only allows you to put 2. That's why it only says 2. But there's a whole bunch of quizzes, like the quizzes after each section. This is a good question from Claire. Is the definition of done only once for the project? The definition of done is a progressive elaboration. It should be done so we really understand what we're doing, but if things change, it can change also, or it could become more clear. Progressive elaboration once again, especially on Agile project, because as you're building the product, the customer better understands what the product is, and they may go about changing that. Cam says you can't leave the camera. So going back to the camera issue, I told you guys make sure to stay in the view of the camera. My laptop is about to go dead. I asked the product if I plug it in. They told me not to leave the camera view. That's right, guys. Make sure to don't leave the camera view. Henry says, hey, Andrew, just came from the testing center. I'm figuring you took it in person. Passed the exam with above target. Thank you so much for all the videos and the mindset. Congratulations there, Henry. Make sure you celebrate. I think you just came from testing center. Make sure to grab a cold beer right about now. I think you need it. And don't forget to get a cake later too. Celebrate well. Thank you for coming back and letting us pass. Letting us know you pass. With above target, such a good score also. All of you guys are getting this. This is such a good score to get. It means, when you score above target, it means you knocked that exam out the park. Like you just killed it. Feel good about that. That's a good reason to celebrate by itself. Buyback from New York says, I passed my exam last Friday with all above target. Thank you so much for your guidance. Well, thank you for attending. Thank you for coming back and letting us know. Make sure to celebrate well. Don't forget the cake, the beer also. Once again, amazing to know that weight is off your shoulder, right? And then once again, summer's starting, guys. You pass your exam. Best thing going. So William is giving some advice here. William says the agile mindset, know the practical job definitions of all the other roles. Utilize your breaks well. Stretch, stay hydrated. I always tell people on that break, make sure you get something to eat. Make sure you exercise. Put some blood in the brain. Good advice. Henry said you took the class with Mike. Mike is an amazing instructor. Almost as good as me here at TIA. He's going to tell you he's the best teacher. And he's an amazing instructor. But congratulations once again. KW says, for those who have taken and passed the test, what was the percentage of agile versus predictive? KW, from my experience, I have seen people getting anywhere from 50% to like 70% agile and hybrid. So it's a lot. All right. It's more than 50. I'll probably tell you that. Okay, somebody says this. Suresh says, I don't have a dedicated room. Do you think the proctor will be worried about all the furniture embedded in my testing room? I don't think they care about furniture so much, but people is a problem. You cannot have people in the testing room. All right, that I know. All right, you got to have a quiet room. Furniture, don't worry about furniture. Don't leave the room. Don't have people in the room. Cam says, Andrew, can you do a YouTube on ways to earn PDUs? I should do one of that. I'm going to add that to the list. I will do one. But if you guys can go to the TIA YouTube channel. There, I am making I'm going to give you guys a link here. I am making a way to get free 60 PDUs by just attending some YouTube sessions. There's a unique way I'm going to do that. But you guys can basically get 60 PDUs by being on this channel. So I'm going to give you guys a link here. I'm going to give you guys a link to this channel. Here, you guys use this link. This is the Technical Institute of America's main channel. Remember, we teach a lot of IT classes. So a lot of videos there are really IT related. But we are going to be doing a PDU, free PDU sessions on that channel where you just attend the sessions and you're going to you watch the sessions. There's going to be something unique you have to do at the end of it. It's not out yet, but give it a month or so. And then you would attend that and you're going to get some PDUs because PDUs are easy to claim. Okay, I just gave you guys a link to that. Check in the box there. Oh boy, you guys got a lot of stuff going on here. Kimberly, congratulations on those who have passed. Okay, very good. Prickly says he has 50% agile and 25% hybrid. Sounds about right. It's about 75% between agile and hybrid. Dr. Catherine Jordan says, hey, y'all, I wanted to share I passed the exam at above targets in all areas this past weekend. Congratulations to you. Once again, did you get the cake? You know, this has been since the weekend. Did you get the cake and the beer in all areas this past weekend? Thank you for your course content. Had over 45 minutes remaining. That means you finished that exam in 3 hours, 15 minutes. Great timing. Hopefully you took a break. That you speed through this exam. And then you aced it. So congratulations. Amazing score there. And time. You've done it faster than I would have probably done it. Great stuff. Make sure you celebrate well. And thank you for coming back and letting us know that you passed. Okay. MBTI. You know, you guys should know MBTI. All right. Make sure you know that. A lot of people have told me they got questions on it. I don't have any questions on that tonight, though, but last week we did. A couple of weeks before we did. We had some drag and drops on it. Make sure you guys know your MBTI. Not to mention, I did a whole video on MBTI. T1000, you bought my book. Thank you. Suresh, how long are the exams? Questions on the exams are not that long. In previous PMP exam, they used to be very big, but now they're not that long. Paragraph, and a small paragraph, and then a sentence like, what should the project manager do? The questions are worded, are formatted the same way as you see on this channel. All right, Gigi says if you can avoid a white screen, do that. The interruptions from the proctor can be distracted. I guess. All right, guys. Dr. Jordan says, hey, I had 70% Agile. I told you guys, a lot of Agile. 1 MBTI, 7 drag and drops, and 2 hotspots. 7 drag and drops sounds about right. A lot of people get that number. Buyback says, hey, Andrew, funny thing happened during the exam for the first 60 questions. I was down 140 minutes down. Whoa. On my first break, and I came back to your video of how to manage the time to reassess my time management. During the break, it's a good one. While you're doing the exam. So that's good. You know, that's good. Make sure you guys, I did do a video. My last video was about how to manage the time. Make sure to review that. But you did finish the exam in the end. Okay, very good. Chris Paul, I got my exam tomorrow. Well, you might have you might be have a little fear inside of you, a little nervousness. That's okay. Review the mindset. All right, where do you find it? Check the book. Check the Udemy course. It's all there. Make sure to review the mindset well, and I think you're gonna be okay. That's what everybody does before the exam, and they just do fine. Kai says, submitted my application on Thursday. If you submitted your application on Thursday and you got an approval today, you're good. That means you're ready to pay, you're ready to take your test. William says the proctor connection wasn't stable. Okay, so that's a problem. Yeah, I mean, if the proctor is having problems, not much we can do. All right, I gave you guys a link to the channel. You know, Gigi, this is interesting. Listen to this, guys. Gigi for PMP said something really interesting that I never thought about. This is interesting. So I think I'm going to mention more. Gigi for PMP says, the reason to recommend non-white screen is due to eye movement. The proctor interrupted and threatened to revoke. I had to let them know my eye movement was due to reading the question on a wide screen. Interesting. Now, I'm not sure how big your wide screen is. Like, I have a 36-inch wide screen in front of me. That's what I'm using here. And this is a pretty wide screen monitor I have. That's an interesting concept. Yeah, because if the exam stretches like for me to look to the ends, like I have to literally look across the screen. Like if the question was straight across, like my screen is literally this big. It's a 36-inch widescreen. So I guess you're right. If you're reading a question, your eyes can be moving, like you're looking somewhere. Interesting. Never thought of that. So maybe we should keep it to like a smaller 20-inch, so your eyes don't look like it's moving so much. Interesting concept. Never thought of that. So for those of you guys with the giant widescreens, you know what you guys could do is reduce the resolution. If you have a widescreen, like to do this YouTube, this widescreen is a very large resolution. I reduce it to 1080p for it to fit on the stream. So maybe you can reduce the resolution on it. Maybe make it a 1080 and don't stretch it. Let it just fit within. So like right now on my widescreen, I have a lot of black spaces at the side of the picture. Gigi for PMP also says be mindful of the time management to answer your question. Yeah, watch the time, guys. Watch the time. That's going to be really, really important. Have your exam tomorrow, VJ. It's okay. Don't feel bad. Everybody's gonna be a little nervous. Mona, I remember you, Mona. You were here quite a few times. Hey, Andrew, I passed my above target last week. 7 to 10 drag and drops, 2 earned value. Without, yeah, I'm gonna give you guys some earned value tonight. You need to know like CPI and SPI, CV, SV. 2 graph questions, 90% situational. That's about it, right? Congratulations, Mona. I know you got the cake. I know you got that to get the beer going. Congratulations. Make sure to celebrate well. I think you did already, though. Given my exam on June 18th, will my simulator be ready? Maybe. I hope so. All right. Sonja says, hey, Andrew, I passed my exam on set. I brought Agile with dominant. Yes, tons of that stuff. Make sure you guys review your Agile section once again. Hey, congratulations once again, huh? Make sure to get the cake and the beer, by the way. Sonja says, very vague, long questions. It was too difficult to decide between options. And that's just the way this exam is. You're going to get a lot of questions where the answers, they really look good. Especially 2 of those answers. Don't use the mindset, use the servant leadership taught, you're going to be fine. Gigi for PMP says it's important to review the questions and answers that you got wrong during simulations. Anytime you do any practice exam, it's super important to review the ones you got wrong. So it says pass at above target in all domains. These live sessions. Well, thank you for attending, guys. By the way, did you guys like this session? Did you guys click the like button? Did you guys do that yet? Taking breaks is essential, Mona says. I agree, guys. Jazz says, I don't know if it's been answered, but can you take a bathroom break during the test? No, you can't take a bathroom break during the test. When you're going to get breaks on the test, okay? They have intervals after the first 60 question. Watch, I did a video on managing your study time. So you can't take a break you can't leave the exam to take a bathroom break. You got to wait for your breaks to come around. Hey, Mama says, hey, I passed my PMP last Friday. Above targets, amazing. Your videos are helpful. 1 or 2 MBTI, drag and drops, a lot of situationals. Yep, Again, you guys make sure to celebrate. Make sure you guys know your MBTI. Above target, every domain, amazing. Make sure to celebrate there. Hey, mama. Interesting username. Don't forget the cake, okay? Mazdaspeed says, I purchased your PMP study guide. It's so much better than others. Well, I hope so. Have not received the e-learning link. If you purchased my study guide, you should get the e-learning link. If not, check your junk mail. It's probably in there. Chesney says, my 720 questions on Udemy. Yeah, that's pretty updated. I got to update that some more, though. Is the Prepcast code still available? No, I don't have any more Prepcast code. Here's a good question I did want to answer. PMBOK 7. So PMBOK 7, somebody's asking a question about PMBOK 7. PMBOK 7 is not going to come out till August. And what PMI is saying is PMBOK will not affect the exam. Because the exam is not just bound to PMBOK alone. You go back to previous PMP exam, the exam was predominantly PMBOK based. But now the exam is based on Agile concepts, which the PMBOK really doesn't have much. So I don't think PMBOK 7 is going to really impact the exam yet. And even when PMBOK comes out in August, don't think it's going to impact the exam right away. I think keep studying with what I gave you. I think even taking an exam in September is not going to be much of a difference. All right. Mona says, identifying spikes and bottlenecks in a Kanban. Got to know that. Make sure you know that. All right, you guys got some other questions, some comments here. Dr. Catherine says, if you're at a testing center, you can take a break outside of the scheduled breaks. I did. Okay, you could do that. Okay, guys, very good, guys. A lot of questions there tonight. Let's do some questions. All right, let's do some practice. I got some practice questions I want to do with you guys. Once again, like we do every session, we got some practice questions. All right, so let's go into these practice questions here. Okay, so like we do all the time, guys, we are going to do 10 practice questions quickly. We're going to review it. I'm going to read it, and then you guys can actually go ahead and answer it. All right, so there is the question. Brent says, Andrew, you're a lot of confidence. Oh, thank you. Hopefully. Okay, guys, let's take a look, guys. Practice question number 1. Hold on, guys. I got to enable the editing. Oh, darn. I think you saw the answer, guys. I think you saw the answer on that one. My fault. I think I messed up on that one. Where is my pad? Yeah, I think you guys probably saw that one. 3-1 for the night. All right, let's take a look at this question, guys. So we got a manager has noticed that during meetings, team members are having major difficulty communicating. This led to shouting matches and bad languages. What should the project manager implement right away to resolve this? So once again, on the real exam, you're going to get a lot of questions where you're going to have people fighting. I mean, that's like the theme of this test. How to stop people from fighting, right? For those of you that have taken the exam, for those of you who take an exam, you can say that. A lot of questions on problems between people. But then again, managing a project is all about managing people problems. So What should the project manager implement? So you probably already have a communication stakeholder management plan. When the team members are having difficulty, especially bad languages, something like that really should be in the team charter. And the team charter is just a document that basically says, hey, you know what? This is how we agree to communicate with everyone else. All right, guys, very good. I think everybody got that one. Let's go to question number 3. Here's a good old-fashioned PMBOK question. Your company plans to introduce a new product to their development processes. The project manager has determined that the component work package has been defined and constraints for each component has been selected. Which estimating technique should the project manager use to acquire precise keyword cost estimates? Analogous, 3 points, bottom up, or parametric? All right, what answer do you guys have? All right, let me know what answer you guys get. We have C. Seems like we have a lot of C's here. All right, if you reviewed my videos, you read my book, or anybody's book and video, I should all cover this. We know that one of these estimates is extremely precise. It takes a long time to do, but it's telling you the work is, when you have well-defined work and you can then roll up that defined work, roll up those constraints. Bottom up is, of course, the best estimation technique out there. Analogous is top down. It's very quick, really based on historical information, but because it's quick and it doesn't use a lot of information about the current project, it just uses more from previous projects, it's not that accurate. 3 point could be accurate depending on the data set, and so is parametric. But bottom up, because the work is heavily defined, C is the best answer. Practice question number 3. You're in the executing phase of a hybrid project. For several weeks during the project, one of the team members just informed you he needs to be out on emergency for the next 2 weeks. What should the project manager do first in this case? Update the issue log. Ask the finance department for additional resources to make up. Prepare a meeting with the sponsor to assess the situation and determine a solution. Ignore the risk and accept the impact it may have on the project schedule. All right, what answer do you guys have? All right, we got some C's here. I got some more C. Got an A. And some A's and C's. All right, A's and C's. Seems to be the going thing here. A's and C's. All right, we got some A's, we got some C's. Let's see what the answer is. And the answer here. So there's 2 main points that's happening here. When I teach the mindset, I tell you guys, don't take action until you assess the situation. And that's really going to apply here. First of all, what is the first thing you're going to do? Is you're going to put it in the issue log. This is an issue that just occurred. The team members tell you he needs to be out. It's not like he may be out, and that's some type of a risk. But he will be out. That means this immediately becomes an issue on a project. So the first thing you do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to update the issue log. Ask the finance department for additional. You can't take action if you haven't assessed the situation, if you're not too sure what to do yet. Ignore the risk. This is not a risk. Okay, he's going to be out. If the question was worded differently, like he may be out or something, or he alerted you that he could be out, maybe then it could be D, but you never ignore risk anyhow. So it's not a risk for sure. And a lot of you guys had the answer of C. Prepare a meeting with the sponsor to assess and determine a solution. Never do anything with the sponsor, right? Here's a good tip on the exam. When you're taking this test, never, ever ask the sponsor for help. The sponsor is not the person that's going to sit with you and assess the situation and fix that problem or issue. Remember that for your tests. All right. What you should do is you should have the only people that can help you fix problems, the only people that can help you assess situations and come up with solutions is the team, not the sponsor. All right. This is going to be a little bit of a tricky one, so read carefully. Deliverables on the critical path are lagging behind schedule. So the critical path for an IT project is behind schedule. With a CPI of 1.3, the PM gets the project back on schedule by adding new resources. So by adding new resources, what happens to the project? Calvin asked me a good question. After you update the issue logs, what to do next? Then assess it with the team, not with the sponsor or Calvin. All right. Okay. What answer do you guys have here? A, activities will be done in parallel. Scope will be revised. Cost and risk will increase. Rework is likely to be necessary. Okay, guys, what answer do you guys have? We got some C's. We got some A's. C. Got some A's. Okay, so the going one here is A's and C's. So let's see what you guys have here. So let's review this. Answer, for those of you guys that said C, very good. Okay, so in this one here, it's telling us that the PM gets it back on schedule. The question is, how did he get it back on schedule? But by adding a new resources. When you add resources, you're crashing the project. By crashing a project, you increase costs, definitely, because you're adding more people, and of course, risks will increase. All right, guys, very good. So it's increasing the cost, right? Why would risk go up? Risk always increase, all right? When you crash a project, it'll increase costs, may increase risk. When you run things in parallel, you generally increase risk more than likely, and maybe cost, but more than likely it's risk. All right, guys, very good. Practice question number 5. An Agile project has stakeholders in many countries. The PM is informed by one of the team members that they were approached by a senior manager for project information. What should the project manager do next in this case? Consult the stakeholder register. Consult the project management information system. Personally invite the senior manager to the next team meetings. Review the communication management plan. Calvin asked me, a resource must mean humans. In this case, it could more than likely mean human. Could be resources means anything. Generally humans, could be materials, could be supplies. You have physical resources, you have team resources. All right, remember to review your resource management section. All right, what answer did you guys have? All right, if you know your mindset, you know, this one should be pretty easy. Once again, we get some A's, we get some D's, A's and D's, A's and D's. All right, so the question would be, the PM is informed by a team member that they were approached by senior management for project information. So senior management is approaching the team member for project information. Where do we store how project information is given out? How do we store how we communicate to stakeholders? The stakeholder register is literally just a list of the stakeholders. The stakeholder register is not going to have the communication needs of the stakeholder. It may have how they would like to be communicated, but the specific project information being given out to who is really your communication management plan. So A, no, that's just a list of stakeholders. Consult the PMIS. I'm not sure what this is going to do. The PMIS is the system that's going to give out the information. Invite the senior manager to the next. You don't invite senior managers to team meetings. That's not going to help them. All right, here's a quick question. After 7 months, a project has a CPI of 0.8 and is trending down. What should the project manager do next in this case? Issue a change request for cost rebaselining. Issue a change request for additional resources. Crash the project schedule. Use management reserves. All right, what should we do? Now, this is going to be a little bit of a tricky question. It has two good answers on it. So think carefully. It's a small question, but it really has two good answers. It doesn't actually say if it's an agile project. You can just assume it's going to be, you can assume it's a predictive project. See, it says, wouldn't you want to know who the senior manager is? No. No, we just manage them all. All right, thanks for doing this. No problem. All right, we got some A's here. You guys, we got some B's. A's. All right, a lot of A's here. Do we have a communication management plan in Agile? On a hybrid Agile project, all right, guys, the answer here is going to be A. What do you do next in this case? So this thing is trending downwards. That means the cost baseline is not sufficient. The cost baseline really needs to be redone because it doesn't seem like it's meeting it at all. The other good answer I thought here was D, use management reserves. So the use of management reserves would require a change request. Remember, on top of the contingency reserve is a management reserve to form the total budget of the project. So the management reserve is something you're going to need a change request for. So you're going to have to go and get a change request and then try to re-baseline the project with a new baseline. Because it was trending downwards, baseline was incorrect really from the start. Question number 7. The customer informs the PM on a new project that the product's requirements may change. These changes were not expected and may seriously change potential sales numbers and project scope. What should the project manager do in this situation? Assess these risk responses and update the risk register accordingly. Utilize forecasting. Update the risk mitigation plan and use a contingency reserve. Use earned value management. All right. Okay, guys, what answer did you guys get? All right, what answer do you guys have on this one? So in this particular one, it says the changes were not expected and may seriously change potential sales numbers. What answer did you guys get? We got A. So a lot of you guys got A on this one, yeah. Seems like a lot of you guys got A. All right, I got to make these questions harder. You guys are too smart, man. You guys are getting everything here right. Assess the risk response. So the changes are not expected and seriously change potential sales numbers. What should the project manager do? Well, so right there and then you're informed. So the customer informs you. You know, on the exam mindset. Let's go into the mindset. Somebody informs you of something happening on a project, and they tell you this word may. So automatically you know something that may affect you is a risk. Something that is affecting you is an issue. So you know you got to do something with risk. What should you do in this situation? Well, you want to assess the risk. So if there's a problem, always assess the situation before taking actions. This is the only one that does that. Assess the risk response and update, because you got to update the risk register with this new risk this thing that may happen, whatever it is. And then move on. Utilize forecasting. Before you do that, you should really know, add it to the risk register. Not yet. Forecasting may come in seeing how to respond to it. There's no such thing as C. C is not an answer. There's no such thing as a mitigation plan. There's a risk management plan. There's a risk register. Earned value is not going to help you here because we're not too sure what it is because it really affects the scope. All right, let's go to question number 8. During the execution phase, the project manager must assign resources to build a team and handle requests for a quick turnaround time. What should the project manager do next in this case? What should the project manager do next? Calvin says, what is the risk response here? We don't know. We don't even know what the risk is. We got to go with the flow of the question there, Calvin. What is the risk response? It depends on the risk, but they're testing your mindset, Calvin, on do you understand that when you have a risk, what do? You assess it. That's what they're testing you on. All right, on this one here, guys, create a library, run a workshop, provide training, run a webinar. This should be an easy one, guys. What are we going to be doing here? You're building your team. What do you do after you build a team, guys? What do you do after you build that team? This should be a pretty easy one. What do we do after we build that team, guys? We are going to provide training. That's right. Easy one. What should you do next in that case? Library, run a workshop, provide training. None of these things doesn't even make sense. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe a workshop to get introduced. Maybe that sounds okay. Run a webinar. No, it's too specific. But you know what? The training the team on letting them know what they have to do is important. Question number 9. We got this in one drag and drop. A few of the key stakeholders on a project is unhappy with the current delivery schedule. They claim the Agile method being used is not efficient enough. What should the project manager do first? Change the Agile method to predictive. Meet with the team to understand why the delivery schedule is being deleted. Meet with the key stakeholders to understand why they feel this way. Inform the key stakeholders that this is the fastest way to deliver a product. Kamal says, hey, just pass my PMP. Like literally, did you just pass it? Maybe you did. Thanks to Andrew, your practice questions are a real deal. You simplify everything. Well, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Don't you feel amazing to know that you passed? Did you just pass that exam there? Kamal. Congratulations. That means if you just passed it, time to get some beer. Time to get some cake. Beer and cake. Amazing. And, it's amazing to know that you got that weight right off your shoulder. All right, everybody here has got C. Boss yesterday. Okay, close enough. Don't forget to celebrate now. All right, everybody here has got C once again. So we want to get down before we start taking actions. We want to see what's going on. So let's see what's happening here. A few of the key stakeholders unhappy with the delivery schedule. They claim the Agile method is being used not efficient. So you just can't change something, right? Somebody's unhappy with something. Stakeholders are unhappy. Don't change anything yet. Find out why. Meet with the team to understand why it's being deleted. I'm not sure. Schedule is being deleted this year. They haven't said that, so that statement doesn't apply here. Inform the stakeholders. No, you don't push. D, remember for your exam, if you ever get a choice on your exam where you're pushing a solution to a customer without hearing them out, is never the answer. You don't do that. You have to listen to them. Yeah, we have to educate them, but you just don't go to them and say, hey, this is the best way because you want it to be. Meet with them and understand what they're doing. That's the best way. Okay, guys, that ended that section. Let's do one. Let's do one. Uh, let's do one of these drag and drop. All right. You're gonna drag the wrist to the type. This is a famous drag and drop. A lot of people have told me to have drag and drops knowing your wrist responses. So let's take a look at this, guys. Go ahead. You're gonna drag one of these wrists to one of these definitions here. Here's what we're doing. Let's go ahead and get started, guys. All right, go ahead, take a minute, guys. Put these in order. Put these in order, guys. Put these in order. Kamal says, I reviewed his mindset twice. Never take actions, evaluate, or meet stakeholders. That's always the answer, right? Kamal, you select that, you pass, just like that. And you guys are going to be, when you're taking the real exam, you're going to be so surprised to know how many questions, just knowing that alone works. Like just knowing that alone, it's not that difficult. All right, it seems like everybody's got this. All right, method used to eliminate the risk. So what is used to eliminate risk? Well, that's avoiding. If I never got on the plane. The other one we have here is given to a third party. So that's definitely sharing the risk. And then enhancing the risk is obviously the last one. This is going to be the opposite of mitigation. This is what you do in a positive aspect. Positive risk is to mitigate it. Increase the effect of the probability and or the impact on the project. All right, guys, very good. All right. All done with some practice questions there. So Victor says, thanks to the Udemy live sessions, the materials are made in the past exam last Friday. Congratulations, Victor. Make sure to celebrate well. Did you get the cake and the beer? Big weight off your shoulders. Thank you, guys. Well, guys, we are done for tonight. Did you guys like the video? Did you guys... There's 92 of you guys. Did you guys click the like button? Come on, guys. Did you know it's free to click the like button? Did you guys know that? Very free. Doesn't cost anything except to click. See, now I sound like all the YouTube people. Right? I'm always asking to click that like button. Guys, if you guys pass your exam, some people have asked me to ask my students to share their experience. If you guys are on any forums, I don't know, Facebook or wherever you are, Reddit, I think there's a bunch of Facebook groups or whatever, whatever it is that you join. If you're on Reddit, there's a Reddit PMP group. Put your experience there. Let people know that you passed. Keep people motivated. The more people, when you pass an exam, maybe you came here tonight, and you weren't sure if you were going to take your PMP exam, but now you saw so many people that passed. It's so encouraging to see that. So for those of you that passed, thank you. Put your experience in other places. Put something on LinkedIn, Reddit, Facebook, whatever group you're in. I don't know. WhatsApp, are there groups for that? I don't know. Make sure you guys study well for those of you that got your exam. Thank you for everyone that passed, that came back tonight and helped us, motivated the rest of them that haven't taken their exam. If you're taking your exam between now and next week, Tuesday, good luck. I wish you the absolute best. And if you do pass, if you do pass, you will pass, come back. Let me know how you did. Yogendra says, my simulator hasn't been out. Sorry, Yogendra, these things are hard to build. I'm not a web programmer. These people work very slow, I think. Come back next week. Let me know how you guys do. So good luck to the rest of you guys. Thank everyone that has came back and let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done that. We had some pretty cool content. If you want those free PDUs, subscribe to the TIA channel, the Technical Institute of America channel. You get some free PDU courses coming there. And thank you guys for attending. Hold on. Murphy says, will PMI change the exam? No, they will not change the exam before the end of the year. When a PMP comes out, they just change it. It takes about 3-4 years, not for a while. For those of you guys, I will see you guys in a week. You guys have a great weekend. Have a great week. Thank you all for attending. Join me on LinkedIn if you have not. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a good night, everyone. Morning, day. Take it easy, guys.